Now, Sandra, let's go deeper into the posting. When someone is beginning to post, what would you recommend as a measure of success, as well as, for example, you mentioned for the bio, hey, just the reactions and what people tell me, right? In terms of posts, what would, because I think there's an initial when you haven't posted, you start posting and you get like big reactions, and then it starts to die down. So what are some of the recommendations you would give to someone who's getting started in terms of having the right expectations and the right measures of success?
I love that question because my measures are a little different than other people. There are measurements that LinkedIn gives you, how many views of your post. Now, views, I want to be sure to point out that does not mean the number of people who saw it. That means the number of people who might have seen it if they've been looking at their newsfeed at that time. So it's a measurement. Is it the most important measurement? No. And so it's something you pay attention to. I call views LinkedIn's love for you. It means they pushed it out and people have liked, commented, and then LinkedIn has spread it out even further. So number of views is a factor to look at. Then engagement is much more important. People who liked it or reacted to it, since there's a number of ways you can react. People who commented on it, because when they do that, it's now shared into part of their newsfeed and goes to their people. So you're now getting 2 and 3 degrees away from your original set of connections. They give you the opportunity, if they comment, for you to comment back. And now you're starting a conversation, which is great for business development, for getting to know each other. So those are all measurements. There are some different things in that video, for example. The number of views is measured differently. It's measured by if somebody pauses for at least 3 seconds where your video is, that counts as a view, which is more valuable than just appearing in someone's newsfeed. So videos are important. Make sure you've got captions on them for many reasons, but also it'll stop the scroll for at least 3 seconds. So those are kind of generally measurements. For me, a lot of it is I don't feel the need to reach everyone. Okay, if I get a post that kind of goes semi-viral and spreads widely, it's exciting, it's fun. But I really only need to reach the 1 or 2 people that need to hear my message and are interested in working with me. So for me, if I get someone contact me for a consultation, they say, how did you hear about me? And they say, well, I saw a post you wrote. That's the measurement. So I'm always going to track that. They often don't remember what post it was. But the fact that they saw it, a lot of time people, especially my people, the socially reluctant, they will watch, their lurkers, they will look for a long, long time before they ever engage with you. They may never react, like, comment before they contact me because, it's like, that's too overwhelming, but they're looking. So how can I measure those people that are looking and not connecting with me? I can't, but my business kind of sustains itself. So presumably they're getting my message, but that's just getting started. So so those are measurements. And then obviously if you get business from it, that's a real measurement, but that's hard to evaluate. And I get business. Do I know that I got that business from that post? No, not necessarily. It's all those cumulative things that people will say things like, well, I just always see you online. I'm actually not online posting that much, but I'm steady enough that they see it, that they feel aware of me. So those are all measurements. There are things, if we're in that advanced category again, where there are different types of posts that are more effective is not quite the right word, because you might do a post that reached 1 person and it's a great client, so that's enough. But when you do a post, if you're just getting started, so this is, well, what's the best kind of post to do? And my answer is the kind of post that you're willing to do. So a link post, for example, a link to an article you read that you thought was great. Now, in LinkedIn terms, that's not a great post to do. LinkedIn doesn't like links very much, so it tends to not spread it widely. But hey, yay, you've done it. You've got to start. Now, you want to ideally at least put some thought about why you shared that post, why people should read it, and not something like, oh, here's a great post. Oh, you should read this post just because you told me. But, a comment about, if you look at the top 3 reasons people say you should do this as a manager, you're going to be much more successful in your work. Make me want to read it. And you're also adding your thought leadership. So link posts, if it gets you started, if you do it. I have one client, I've never been able to get her to post anything original, but she adds some very nice, thoughtful comments to the links. And she's actually had great engagement with that. A text post or a text with an image do very well. The image kind of stops you, and then we read what you've written. So an image post might do very well. People like on, but they're not going to comment on it. What do you comment on a pretty picture? It'll go far. A lot of people will see it. And maybe you get a lot of reactions, but you're not getting the chance to engage. So picture, I like that. Text with it too, or even text on its own. Some people do things like they add some emojis to their text to sort of stop the eye. I'm not a huge fan of emojis in general, but it works for people. So you've got those kinds of posts. You've got document posts, videos, if you're willing to do it. If you really want to up your game, you've absolutely got to be doing video. And people go, no, that's worse than having my picture taken. But video posts, always with captions. They don't have to be fancy or formal. You're just sharing yourself, your personality, especially now with all this AI. People, you can have things written by artificial intelligence. And I've tried it out. It's pretty good often. If you're there in person and video, it's me. I'm not a robot. So video is great. So there's always more you can do. There's like 10 or 11 different kinds of posts you can do. I used to have a group posting program where I would teach people all the different kinds of posts. And then I learned that they just were not going to do the different kinds. So I focus on what are the 2 or 3 that you're willing to do, and then just do it consistently.